Okay. Okay, so people have been asking me to look into Meow. I guess because their debut was like a little bit controversial. IDK, I like Meow. I like cats. But, people have been saying that they're a little bit of a Blackpink knockoff, very Teddy-esque, very YG-esque, and then it's just a little bit like, is this really fitting the girlies? So I looked into that. I looked into how the girlies are doing, what's going on behind the scenes, and maybe what's not going on behind the scenes, and just the future of Meow. Of course, everything I say is all alleged, and for entertainment purposes only, and with peace and love, and let's go! The Fool, it's like the beginning of a journey. That could be their company, but it's like establishments. Oh, Injustice. Oh. I think they're gonna improve. Yeah. They'll definitely improve. Because the Fool is like the beginning of a journey. That's where they are right now. They're rookies. Hierophant is like systems, establishments. So it could be things like a church, like a religion, or like a K-pop company. You have the Justice card in the upright position. And these two cards look very similar to one another. I feel like, they're under the Black Label, a subsidiary of YG. But, it seems like behind the scenes there's a lot of, I see like strings being pulled. I don't know if that's like ethically or not ethically. I couldn't tell you. But there's a lot they're doing behind the scenes to try to get Meow to be bigger. More like, because I mean like you can only put so much money into something. Because it's sort of like if people just aren't interested, you can like make bots like their stuff and watch their stuff. But it's like they need fans. I see them trying to get Meow in front of more people. The Four of Swords in the reverse position. That's the beginning. Oh, I think they're gonna start to do more. To be honest, I haven't been following Meow that much. That's my bad. But I feel like they're gonna start to do more. They're gonna try to start to be in front of people more, like actual physical people. Like, I don't know, I see them like playing like university shows or something like that, just so that they can like, I think part of Meow's charm is more so like the girls' energy and their personalities. Like the synergy of the group is going to be more exciting the more comfortable they are. I feel like the girls are a little bit, what's the word? Not like, I mean like disappointed, yes, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Regretful, maybe is the word I'm looking for. I don't know, about how their debut has gone so far and like the level of fame as well. You know, honestly, like low-key, I feel like they were told, like, I think because the Black Label is under YG and YG is technically in the big four, but I mean there's so many big groups now. But like when Blackpink was in like their height, there just weren't as many girl groups to be competing with, you know what I mean? Now it's very competitive in the 4th and 5th generation. I kind of feel like Meow just really wasn't like maybe properly prepared, maybe because I think people at the Black Label and YG in general were sort of thinking like, oh yeah, we have this in the bag, like Blackpink is on our roster, we had 21 in our roster, we had all of these like mega hits, and so I feel like they just like, they're not really in touch maybe with like how demographics have changed and how people's listenings have changed. So it's like in my mind I see like the Meow girls, I see like somebody talking to them and being like, you guys got this, like you're gonna be a big hit right out of the gate. And I think they kind of like, they had to work hard for sure. I see them working very hard in their debut, but it's sort of like, I think like they got it in their head that are like, oh, like we're like attached to Blackpink, we're gonna be a hit right off the gate, because that's what Blackpink was. It's not really the case. I feel like maybe their expectations weren't properly managed. Not in the sense that they were like gonna be like greedy, ungrateful girls, but more so it's just sort of like, I think they felt a level of like security and a surety that they didn't have being under the Black Label and like associated with Blackpink, you know what I mean? The Knight of Pentacles though is a really good sign that they will become commercially successful in some way. Or they will become, what's the word? Like established and stable. I don't know if they're gonna, the devil. I don't know if they're gonna necessarily be a smash hit. I feel like someone's very upset at how Meow is doing. I see like a dark shadow. Like, I see them like dancing or something and there's a dark shadow that's like way in the back of like an auditorium and they look mad. I think maybe the performance of Meow, I don't know. Not like their talent, but just like how they've done numbers-wise, or someone who's really angry. This would be maybe an investor in like the Black Label or some, I don't know how it works, but something like that, someone powerful. The Hanged Man in the reverse position and the King of Wands. They're gonna get new creative direction. Right now, I think I feel like I see a lot of conflict behind the scenes at the Black Label, but I don't know if the girls necessarily know that. This seems like quieter conversations. It seems like it has to do with money, and it also has to do with like clout and esteem for some reason. Somebody's very mad. I see Teddy involved in this for some reason, like the creative direction of Teddy. Someone is like, I see like arguing between Teddy, which literally is like a teddy bear, and I'm like, who else would that be, IDK? And like other people, and it's like all men, and they're all arguing, and like some of them are in suits, which makes me think it's like a business thing, and people are very mad at like the lack of creativity that Meow has. I think Teddy's kind of a little bit of a control freak when it comes to like creative direction. Like he doesn't really like, he's very, when he has his mindset on something, he's like, no, like this is what it's going to be. He doesn't necessarily listen to input. He's not necessarily the most like free flowing or fluid when it comes to that, and that's going to be a problem. But the thing is, I feel like this is something he's received criticism on for a long time. He still like won't really change. I don't know why, because it's like, I mean, like, you know, if you get feedback enough times and it's the same feedback, whatever. But I feel like Meow, because the devil is being like chained to something toxic. But to me, this seems more related to like business and how it's like a trickle down effect that affects what we see on stage and in videos with the girls. But there's something like someone is unwilling to do something or like change in some way. But to me, it feels like it's a musical direction of sorts or a creative direction of sorts, or just like how things are executed, and they're unwilling to let that go. That's going to drag the Meow girls down. But it's good news though that, well, kind of, the Hanged Man is the need for a new perspective, which is like, I feel like some people have criticized that the girls haven't necessarily fit their, their concept, where it's like we're very hard and we're very rich and we're very, you know, like that girl. And they're really young. They're super cute. They look like babies though. It's sort of like, a lot of people are like, you guys don't necessarily like fit this. And so they need to, I feel like the girls themselves, I see them being very moldable. I see them being very coachable and teachable. They all seem very sweet. I don't know if there's rumors that they're not. I think there's like their energy is giving very sweet. But like in a young way, you know, where it's just like, we don't know what we're doing, we're just dancing. But it's interesting because they like, if I could give Meow, anyone, no one's listening, but from like, you know, the Black Label or YG, but if I could give you, you know, a suggestion, you really got to change it up. Like, YG needs to get out of this rut of like, we're hip-hop and we're rap and we do dark aesthetics. I feel like Meow would really, really thrive if they did, and I mean, don't be mad at me, but I really see them doing something akin to New Jeans, but not necessarily copying New Jeans, but New Jeans just had a very like fresh thing to them, and it was very like trying new sounds. I feel like if Meow did a really big 180 into like a very different, I could see Meow being very successful if they did weird stuff, and they sort of leaned into doing very kitsch or very campy stuff. If Meow did campy stuff, I feel like they would be a smash hit. And the thing is, they really need to do this. There's a lot of arguing because the King of Wands is like a creative person. I think there's somebody that is like arguing behind the scenes to be like, no, like, let's try this, let's do this. Whoever is in charge of the creative direction, I don't think it's just Teddy, but I think he's a big part of that. Whoever is in charge of that is unwilling to. The girls are just caught in the middle, but they need to change or else they won't get like bigger, you know? The girls, I don't think, are very attached at all to their concept. They're just like, we just do what we're told. The Six of... Oh, that's like a... Ooh! Oh, what is this? The Six of Cups can sometimes talk about like a loss of innocence or loss of childhood. But sometimes they can also just talk about needing to review the past, but not... The Star is like a loss, like a lack of vulnerability. Sometimes feeling guarded, but sometimes it's a loss of like star power. And the Ace of Wands is a lack of creativity. Oh, they really want to... I don't know, this is so annoying. Ugh. What I see is they really want the girls to be older and appear older than they are. That's like a thing. That is like written on a piece of paper or like a whiteboard somewhere. Like they want the girls to appear older. I don't know how old they are, but like typically idols debut kind of on the younger side. I'm not sure how old they, like 18 maybe, I don't know. But they want them to appear older. I see Meow, the creative direction, not the girls, trying to be kind of what Blackpink is. Like not like an updated version of Blackpink. If you remember in like 2016 and they were doing like Boom Baya and stuff, they want like an updated version of that. It's not gonna work. It's really not gonna work. I think they should lean into the girls' youth more. Like youth and like cute, and it's like a vibe, and like, oh, like I fell in love with a boy and I write in my diary. I don't know why they're set on this. I don't know who they're trying to cater to, but it's not the vibe. They're very confused about Meow. I mean, granted, I've never developed a K-pop group before, but I feel like if they genuinely, I think what would help them a lot is if they listened to like people online and like the comment sections that talk about Meow, and it's like, well, like maybe they should do this or that. They should really listen. I think the people who most want to see Meow succeed are people who are around the age of Meow. So it's like, you know, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 21-year-olds, like people in that age demographic. If you listen to them, you'll be more successful. They really want the girls to be older. This isn't going to work though, because the Star in the reverse position is like a lack of star power. The Ace of Wands too is a lack of creativity. Meow is really devoid of creativity, and I think that was a critique in their music video, was like, it's just a bunch of them kind of like posing and being like hella pretty, and like there was no like storyline. And I think that's another critique that YG and its subsidiaries are going to struggle with, because I see that with Baby Monster as well, where there's not a lot of like soul or like heart in like their group concept. You know what I mean? Like aespa has like a whole storyline, and like there's a whole thing going on that they sometimes delve into and sometimes don't, whatever. But in even if it's like manufactured, you know what I mean, where it's like it's not truly real, with YG groups it's just sort of like a lot of like, we're very pretty girls and we're very rich, And that's like there's no arc, there's no storyline. Even like if you think about IVE, and IVE changes their shit a lot. I don't know if that's a great example. I see a lot of fighting. I do see a lot of fighting at the Black Label. It seems like there are people who are like, let's go this way, let's try something new. And there's some people who are very staunchly like, no, like I have a vision, it's gonna work out. It's not gonna work out, FYI, if you don't change things up. Because this is like trying to plan, trying to strategize. The 10, and it's interesting because these are two 10s, which would be like, I think they are going to hit a wall creatively, not the girls. The girl, like, I think I'll maybe pull cards specifically on them in a second because we're mostly getting info about like the company. But the 10 of Swords would be like finally like getting the message in the memo of like, oh, this isn't gonna work. I feel like another comeback they're going to have, or like a song they're gonna release or something they're gonna do, is going to get poor reviews. Like it's gonna get a lot of criticism in the comments or something. That'll finally be a wake up call, and it's like back to the drawing board and like going on with like, okay, like do we keep doing this burden or do we try something new? The cards are not giving. I'm sorry. Like the Knight of Swords in the reverse position would be like needing to like rush towards something, and like not, the sun is unhappiness or a lack of illumination on something. That would be I don't feel like they're going to get a lot of recognition coming up. This feels like it's going to be all of 2025. Like they're just not going to get like a smash hit. But the thing is, like, they really could. The girls easily could if like someone would change their mind. Because it seems like Meow is a ship and there's somebody who is like an anchor that is dragging them, just holding them back from going on their big voyage. You know what I mean? Okay, let's pull cards specifically on the girlies. Okay. Ace of Pentacles. I don't know if they've been paid or if they've made a lot of money or received a lot of reward for their efforts. I don't know how long each of them have been training for, but some of them have been training for a while. They don't necessarily see that immediate like payoff. The World is a lack of completion in the Ace of Cups. I mean, like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, I feel them, like, energetically, it's like empty. It's like empty and blank is how their energy shows up to me. It's not, like, I don't want to say like numb, but like it's close to that. It's just sort of like, you know what it's like? It's like if you've ever worked very hard for a long time, to the point where like you're not enjoying your hobbies, you're not really talking to your friends because you're very focused like on school or your job or making money or whatever it is. You kind of lose your sense of personality, your sense of self. That's what it is. That's what it seems like. It seems like they're just very not like, but it's not like they're not vibrant. It's literally just like they're very one track. They're very focused on something else, because the Ace of Cups is like the lack of emotion, a lack of feeling yourself, a lack of flow. The World is a lack of completion, and the Ace of Pentacles would be like a lack of a reward. There's something about money with them, or like accessing things that they need, because this is like handouts. This would be like fighting in the Page of Pentacles. I think there is built-in competition among one another. I feel like the girls really like each other. I think they get along for the most part. Like, I don't really think they're close either. It's just sort of like when we are at practice or when we're doing stuff together, it's like oh, it's like you know what it's like? It's like they're school friends. Where it's like they're not actually friends. They don't kick it outside of like going to school, but they're like at school. It's like they like gossip and it's cute and it's like a vibe. That's what it seems like. They're not like super close. Even I feel like some of them have worked together for a long time, but I don't know if the Black Label really fosters like camaraderie type of sessions. You know what I mean? They're very sweet though. Like if you are like a Meow fan, I feel like you should keep being their fan just based on they seem very sweet. There's fostered competition though, and this is what the company wants them to be competitive with each other, and I think the goal is so that they will improve by being like, I want to be better than her. It's not necessarily working. That's just not how I just feel like that's not how their personalities work, and I feel like the Black Label, whoever manages them or is in charge of them, kind of like misunderstands the girl's personality. Like, they're just very chill, sweet. They're creative. Like, if you gave them like choreography and you're like, hey, like, do this, they would do it like super good. Like, they're creative. They take direction well. It's like a flow. Their environment is not like they're sort of put into that environment rather than the environment being like built around them. And I think if you did things that would like improve their creativity and stuff like that with the girls, literally I could see this being a smash hit. But there's somebody who is so effing stubborn that's going to make them like sink. They're not gonna flop. I'm not saying they're gonna flop, but they're not gonna be like big. At least on the train track we are on right now. If someone would move, just slide it over. The Page of Pentacles tells me that they're going to get at something that is going to be commercially successful in some way, though. But the thing is, I don't think it's going to be a hit, like it's on everybody's, whatever it's talked about. I don't know what that would be. The Queen of Wands is a lack of creativity, balance. King of Pentacles. I feel like the girls signed like a contract where they owe a lot of money to the company. You know, some companies, or at least that's what's like claimed, is that like they don't have any like debt. Like once you debut, your debt is gone. That's not the case. They owe a lot of money. I think the Black label and YG in general are very hard up for cash right now, because that's what I saw in the Baby Monster reading and a lot of Blackpink readings, is YG really wants a lot of cash. I think that's why Blackpink is actually going on tour again. I don't think they want to go on tour, but that's besides the point. In this reading, MEOVV, they seem deflated. It's not depressed. It's just like deflated. It's just sort of like, I don't know, I think what they expected to have happen and what happened are not the same thing. I don't think they're particularly supported. I don't think they're unsupported. I think it's sort of like if you start a new job and you're very excited because you read the job description and you're like, oh, this is a really cool company, and then you get there and then you're just kind of sitting at a desk all day, like staring at the wall, and it's sort of like, man, like it's not as creative as I thought it was going to be, it's not as fun as I thought it was going to be, or I'm not utilizing my skills to the best of my ability. Any final thoughts for the girls? The high priestess is like not being in touch with your higher self, like not being on the right track. The 8 of Swords is but that's like defensiveness or having your guard up. What's that mean? Happily ever after? I think one of them is going to advocate. I think there's one member who's a little bit more of a leader. I don't know if they have an official leader, but this would be someone who was older in the group. They seem like they are very smart and they're going to take charge. Like they're going to start advocating, or be like, hey, can we do this, or can we have that? They're going to get pushback from this, and there's going to be a lot of threats. But I mean, girl, if you're watching, like keep going, because they're not going to fire you. They're not going to kick you out of the group for this. Their ideas are very good. They should listen to this member. And I think they might, but there's going to be a lot of strife along the way. But it'll lead to something better if this member actually does it. The girls have a lot more, oddly enough, the girls have a lot more power than I think you would expect, and I think that they even really know about. And I think if they advocated a lot more for, like, we want to sound like this, or we want to do this, and you kept pushing, it would go through. Because, I mean, like, think about it. Like, they're young. Like, they're in the demographic of people who would be listening to their stuff. And, like, they know, I mean, if you're in K-pop as an idol, you probably, like, know a lot about K-pop in general and, like, the music that's coming out. I would imagine, like, they could really be the motor that pushes MEOVV forward. And they should really have more input, because I think they have good ideas. I don't know if they're going to be listened to, but they should. Well, honestly, vibe. I root for them. I root for the girlies. They're very sweet. Thank you.